I'm Carla Budarak, and welcome to Behavior Communicates. Today's episode was actually inspired by a reader who asked if I could actually give her a real-life scenario on how I use some of my strategies all together. So today I'm going to show you a situation that I consulted for with a little third-grade girl, average intelligence, who was being verbally aggressive, physically aggressive, and the teacher was out of options. I'm going to show you 7 things that I did to help this teacher and the student work together productively. So the first thing that I did was to set up a work system. And if you remember what a work system is a visual strategy to help a student know the answer to 4 questions. What work? How much work? How do I know when I'm done? And what comes next? I set up the work system so the child could see that she was doing math, how many problems she was going to do. She was going to put those answers in a folder when she was finished, and what came next was to allow her to play with the dishes that she loved so much. The second thing that I did was to offer the teacher an oops card. So when the child came across a problem like 26 minus 8, the teacher could say, oops, you cannot subtract 8 from 6, so you need to, and here's the third option, borrow. That way the teacher could cut down on the verbal and go visual. The fourth thing that I offered was the place value chart that was visual. So the child could see the tens, the hundreds, and the thousands column. She could see exactly how many she had with her counting cubes and how many she needed to borrow to get her answer. Okay, the fifth thing I used was advice to the teacher on how to further cut the verbal. She was giving lots of verbal accolades to this child, and so I asked her to just basically give a thumbs up. Something else that I asked her to do was, instead of giving numbers, to have the teacher use her fingers instead of saying the actual numbers. So instead of 6, I had her do, and then the last thing I had to do was to circle the symbol for subtraction instead of actually saying it. Now, the 6th thing that I did was to use the first and then strategy. A couple of times when this child was protesting that she didn't want to do the math, we used the first math, then do dishes strategy. We needed to use this about 3 times, and then she was understanding that she had something that she had to accomplish before she got what she wanted. And then the last thing that we used was the voice meter. Again, she was using loud protesting, and I said, you are at a 4, you need to be at a 3 because that hurts my ears. Twice during this session I had to remind her of the voice meter, but then she calmed down and then just concentrated on doing her work. What were the results of this? Well, I can tell you that this child stopped swearing, she gave her teacher a thumbs up, lots of smiles, and she completed her task. She actually worked for 40 minutes non-stop with her math. We gave her a 10-minute break playing with her dishes, and she came back and worked another 20 minutes. So we got 60 minutes of productive behavior from this child. That's much more, that's 60 minutes more than we'd ever gotten before. Another fantastic result was this teacher's confidence grew, and she actually said to me, I know I can teach her, and she said, no one is going to believe me when I tell them what happened today. This is not the same child that was in my room yesterday. So there's a little scenario on how you can use a lot of these visual strategies and other techniques all together in one scenario. I hope you enjoyed it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and all your other social media. Thank you so much for joining me here at Behavior Communicates, where I help you create a life for you and your child or your student, where you both get what you really want and what you really need. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Okay, the 5th thing that I did was to use, no, that's not the 5th.